welcome everyone to the meeting tonight. It looks like we'll have a rather short meeting because a lot of our partners aren't here, so not giving any reports. But I would like to take a little time to go through where we are on the Lower Alhambra Creek Watershed Management Plan, where we are on the Martin property and the John Muir grave site, and where we are with the Region Water Board and CUSP, primarily Riley, on the definition of the restoration project that she keeps talking about and refers to in the Lower Watershed Management Plan. So with that, why don't we go ahead and get started? And I guess my update, personal update, is that I am now fully retired.
Oh.
So I was I kind of officially retired in December, but there's two projects they asked me to finish, which I agreed to, and the one lasted quite a bit longer than the other one, but it finally, I did the last meeting and everything about 2 weeks ago, just for the end of July. So that's it.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
Wow.
So now I'm catching up all the stack of little projects on my desk that I've been putting off. I'm starting to get to.
So what does that mean for the Watershed Council?
What does it mean?
Doesn't mean anything, right?
No,
you're not retiring from us.
No, I'm not retiring now.
Okay, cool.
I'm still on the Friends of the San Francisco Estuary also.
Oh, good. Okay,
then
congratulations.
Yeah. Although at some point, we can't run this thing forever.
Right, true.
All of us, our days are numbered, so to speak. In terms of doing this kind of work.
Does he know something we don't?
Well, I don't know. I was just wondering. I still see blue sky a little bit.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's I'm 70 years old, and the people ask me why I retired.
You're so young.
Why it took me, so long to retire, but there's other things in life that I want to get done and achieve, and we all move on to different interests, and so
yeah.
I'm still interested in the watershed and the work that we do, so I don't see leaving this anytime soon. But I'm just saying that we will not be doing this forever.
Yeah. Right.
So that's all I meant by that. I wasn't talking about the end of the earth or something, or the end of our lives as we know it. So sorry to be so melodramatic. Okay, so that's my update. I should have rehearsed that perhaps a little bit better. Okay, so Friends of Alhambra Creek, Elaine, Jamie.
So we're going to do a couple of cleanups for the coastal cleanup celebration in September.
Okay.
We're going to be going over to McNabney Marsh with Robin. Excuse me.
Good.
And then hopefully we'll do one with Brianne. She wanted to do something at the plaza and the area that's across the street from the plaza. So we'll see where that goes. So you're all welcome to come join us,
So the one is September 10th, right? That's
Robin's is right.
So the area across the street from the plaza.
So you know where the Campbell Theater is, right next to the Campbell Theater down the street there. Is that
okay.
Estudillo and something?
Okay, across Ward Street, upstream then, upstream of the plaza.
Yeah, upstream.
Remember, we're creek roofs. We have to talk upstream or downstream.
That's right.
We don't talk about streets.
Across the street, no.
Yeah. Okay.
Across the impairment of the creek.
Right. That's right.
So that might be on October 1st. So join us if you can. first. We're hoping. She had to get permission from the city to help, so we'll see. Probably
Okay.
she will. I mean, she's the mayor, she should get permission.
One would hope,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, hope so. Oh, what else did we do? Oh, we're talking about going to Tilden Botanical Garden. If you hadn't been there for a while, it's got some new stuff going on, and we haven't got a date on that yet, but we're going to share that with everyone if you'd like to join us with that. We're working on the date. And then
Okay,
we're talked
great.
about getting, huh?
I said that's great.
Yeah, so you might want to join us. You and your wife might want to join us with that, Carolyn.
Mhm.
And then we're also talking about getting some new T-shirts when we were at the 4th of July parade. I don't know if you knew that, Mitch,
No.
but Jeff has a 1947 Ferguson
Oh, really?
tractor, and so
Oh.
he got the tractor and he put our Friends of Alhambra Creek banner on it, and we all dressed up and stuff, and we walked down Main Street, and a couple of the people noticed the shirts that we were wearing, and they asked if they could purchase one. So we're thinking about redoing a shirt
Nice.
of some
You're gonna
type
keep the
with the-
same design, sauntering.
well, they're lovely. So we're going to modify it a little bit,
Mhm.
but it'll have the large dragon on it. And
Yeah.
I forget who I think Jane Moore, one that said, well, maybe we'd want to put a native plant on there. So we've been discussing about, then Veronica said, of course, they don't really pollinate native plants. That's not what dragonflies do, but they do need a place to sit, and they do like water plants. So we're going to see if we can find some kind of a reed or something to add to the mix there, and maybe a freshwater plant or something like that, or that
Yeah.
would be maybe find in the creek to put in there. So Jane is working on that. So that
Okay.
should be kind of fun.
Yeah, it's a great photo. So
Yeah,
what
that
was
is a
that?
good photo.
What was that? That's your latest T-shirt, but there was one some years ago that had the
Yeah.
outline of Alhambra Creek, and it says
Right.
saunter along the creek.
Yeah, that's a beautiful shirt. The other one is kind of more colorful.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
that
the
was
one,
just
one is kind of discreet, and kind of informational, which is wonderful. But
Mhm.
this one was kind of more colorful, so we thought we would maybe go with for this go around, go with the
Mhm.
more colorful one.
Yeah, I came across that shirt the other day.
Did you wear it?
I did wear it. Yeah, it was. It's a work shirt now.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and that's we
Now,
we
is
just
that?
had kind of a nice
It
meeting.
looks like you had a good parade there. 'Cause I was out of town for that
We-
week.
We did. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, good.
There were so many people. They were just like closing in on the street.
Really? Huh.
And then this tractor, of course, put, no brakes, but no, we can just slow it down.
Yeah, no break. Yeah, out of the
But it was
way,
fun.
no breaks.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And he's still putting up street there, waiting for
Yeah.
them to run out of gas so he can stop, huh? Okay, well, thank you.
You can just put it, take it out of gear and it stops.
There you go.
Put it in gear. I forget which.
Yeah.
Something. Anyways, take the clutch. If you take your foot off the clutch and it stops. So,
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Elaine.
yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So National Park Service is not here. RCD,
Yeah,
Victoria.
I have a whole list of things. First, so Lydia, who is I already announced this to the friends, but Lydia works in Pinole Creek Watershed, and she's also a watershed coordinator like me, but she is heading off to grad school at the end of this month. So with that, we are going to be hiring at least one new watershed coordinator. And with hiring new people comes some shuffling in responsibilities. And so our current plan is for the new watershed coordinator to come in, and I would hand off Alhambra to them so that they would be working Alhambra Creek Watershed and Pinole Creek Watershed, which makes sense because they're closer together, because right now I'm working Marsh Creek and Alhambra. and a little bit of Walnut Creek, which are all over the map. And then I'm going to shift because Lydia, excuse me, Lydia was helping to plan the symposium. And so I'm shifting hard to help plan the symposium for this October, since she'll be leaving us at the end of this month.
And where's she going?
She is going up to, oh man, it's either in Oregon or Washington. She's going up north somewhere. And
Okay.
she's getting a master's in environmental studies.
Nice. Okay, good.
Yeah. So it's great for her. But yeah, likely a new person will be coming in here, and I'll still be around. So it should be a somewhat smooth transition. But with a new person coming in, I will still probably be in a manager role for that mitigation project down at Ferry Point. So I have an update on that as well. So the water board wanted additional fund, or an additional, project for the amount of mitigation that was needed. And so we decided to do the native wetland garden at the Martinez waterfront, in addition to a small project in Pinole. The Friends of Pinole Creek have a native plant garden behind the Pinole Library, which is adjacent to the creek. And so we're going to extend their native garden to the creek, because right now in between the native garden and the creek is just a bunch of English ivy, a little bit of blackberry, Himalayan blackberry, not native. And so those two projects are confirmed, and we finally have our agreement with the railroad, who the mitigation funding is coming from. And so the RCD should be getting, the funds to make these two projects happen in the next few weeks. And then Lydia and I have been working on submitting the needed, permitting for these mitigation projects. For the Martinez one, we just need to submit a CEQA notice of exemption. And then I'm working with the city of Martinez to create an agreement between the RCD and the city to work on their land and put this native garden in. And so that agreement with the city will be going to the RCD board likely in September, and then the city either in September later in the month or in October. And then once we have the agreement with the city and we file the CEQA notice of exemption, we can start the project. So that's exciting. We're looking at, this winter, maybe late fall, to actually start that project.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
So one question, you probably said this, I didn't quite catch all of it, but so you're gonna do the planning for the Watershed Forum symposium and the Marsh Creek Watershed. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then after the Watershed symposium, you'll kind of carry on with the Marsh Creek Watershed.
I will carry on with the Marsh Creek Watershed, and I will be working with Lisa to develop our pollinator program. So we have a monarch program as well as watershed and agriculture, but it was pretty much just Lisa. But we recently got, we were a part of a big block grant. And so we have more funding for the pollinator program. So I'm going to help Lisa develop that program.
Okay. And that, let's see, the symposium is coming up in October.
Yes.
So then you'll start that in November, I guess.
Yes, when we have time after all the symposium planning. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So when are you going to hire this new watershed coordinator? You have advertising out there now, or?
Yes, it's out there. They actually have interviews tomorrow and
Wow,
next week.
okay.
So hopefully in the next couple weeks, we'll get someone, and then, it'll be a few weeks of passing off all the information to them. But yeah, I'm still here, so I'll still make sure that everything follows through.
Well, thank you. You've been a great, really great watershed coordinator.
Thank you.
And I'm glad to see this is a good opportunity for you. And I'm glad to see that you're taking this opportunity and that you have this opportunity. I think it's going to be good for you.
Yeah, I think so. And thank you. You all have been so nice to me. And I personally think Alhambra is the best watershed for a new person because you all have it together, and you're very nice and understanding. So then talking about the symposium, I have a few things. One, registration is open and it's early bird registration until September. So I'd recommend getting your tickets now. Let me find the chat and I will send a link.
The date was, what was the date? It was October.
October 26th. It's a Thursday.
Yeah. See, I think I'm out of town. My daughter's getting married.
Yeah.
Or it's actually, it's a wedding ceremony. I mean, she got married. It's a long story anyway. They're already married, but they're going down to get complete the marriage, you might say. The wedding ceremony. Not the marriage, but the the reception, I guess, in Mexico.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be fun.
They were
Yeah.
gonna get married in Mexico before the pandemic. Then the pandemic hit, and they had to cancel the wedding. So then they decided, because this dragged on, so they just got married in the park downtown Martinez, and just family only. And then they decided they'd have the big celebration without the actual ceremony in Mexico after the pandemic. So that's what we're doing.
Good.
The pandemic, it impacts everything.
Yeah. And then the next thing about the symposium is that currently nominations for awards are open and they're open until August 11th. So if you want to nominate a person or a project for the symposium awards, I would recommend you do that now. And here's the link to that as well. There are 4 awards. One is Watershed Champion. The next is Outstanding Watershed Volunteer. The next is Outstanding Watershed Project. And then the 4th is Emerging Leader, because the theme of this year's symposium is intergenerational watershed stewardship. So we'd like to recognize the young people too.
That's good. That's something that we haven't been really good at as an organization, is to bring up the younger folks to take over when us gray hairs, part ways.
Yeah,
Now,
it's a difficult.
I shouldn't have said that, but
There you go again.
I
Yeah.
know. I think it's a common problem amongst nonprofits, right?
Yeah,
For sure.
it's definitely common across watershed groups. So we're hoping to have some conversation at the symposium around that.
Yeah.
And
I've been
then
yeah, okay.
About the sponsorship of Alhambra Watershed Council and Friends of Alhambra Creek. Since we're having I have 2 things on this. First, since we're having a joint meeting in September, the Friends brought up that it would be a good agenda item at that meeting of what do we want to have, on the table at the symposium, like during tabling, what informational materials the groups want to have there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll add that to the September agenda. And then second is the money. So I was asked to dig into the RCDs, see if we have any funds for the Alhambra Watershed Council from a while ago. And so Chris and Patty helped me look into it. And we were not able to find any Alhambra Watershed Council funds or paperwork indicating that there are or were Alhambra Watershed Council funds. And so Chris looked through our old server and Patty reviewed the deferred revenue. We also reached out to Charlie, who I guess was a previous RCD employee. And so essentially we found no evidence of leftover funds.
And how much is it?
So the sponsorship was $100 total and the friends paid $50. So the Watershed Council's amount would be $50.
Okay, I'll pay that.
Okay. I will send you an email on how to do that.
Okay, yeah, if you could do that, that'd be great.
Okay. Email.
That's the least I can do since I won't be there.
And then, oh, the only other thing on my list is, yeah, the McNabney Marsh coastal cleanup will be on September 10th, which is a Sunday. It'll be the normal time, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And pretty soon a blast about that will go out on the Alhambra Watershed Council email list. And that's it. That's all my updates.
Okay. Thank you, Victoria. So there's going to be so the next meeting we have, then we'll have a new coordinator. Is that correct? That's your intent, I guess. The
Potentially,
RCDs.
yeah, depending on, who we hire, what their availability is and when their start date would be. But yeah, probably the next meeting we would both attend, and then yeah.
Our next meeting is a joint meeting with Friends of Alhambra Creek, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Okay. That'll be good. And Elaine, you and Jane are co-chairs of the Friends? Is that the way it works, or how's that work?
It's a threesome. Jamie
Threesome.
does
Oh,
the
Jamie.
invite, I do the agenda, and Jane runs the meetings.
Okay. So we'll have to figure out what the protocol is when we meet together. Yeah. Okay.
But there's not too much
Sounds
protocol. You could
complicated.
just, not complicated. You can just tell any of us and we can pass it on. It's just very simple. We're just
Okay.
it's a very simple thing.
Sounds very efficient to me. Sounds good. Okay. That's good. All right. So we're done with, okay, Mountain View Sanitary is not here. Anything else anybody wants to bring up? Announcements or anything? Okay, so let's go on to if anybody knows of an update on the Martin property or the John Muir grave site. So the Martin was given, that's the property owner with the rubble, concrete rubble. A letter, she was getting a letter from the Regional Water Quality Control Board saying that she had to have all that rubble removed immediately. And the deadline was August. Well, in fact, it was August something or other. You remember the exact date, Victoria?
I think it was 20 something, maybe 27th.
I probably have my notes here.
Let me see. I'll find out.
But anyway, it's August 15. So she has until August 15. That's one more week. Well, I haven't heard anything about anybody moving riprap out of there, so I suspect that nothing's happened. And at least, there's been no talk by, or I don't think she's reached out to anybody. I'm not sure what the situation is. So it seems that she's going to miss that schedule. And the region board then will, I guess, have to send her another letter. But Victoria, do you have her phone number?
No.
No. Okay.
Well, I heard a rumor too that they're working to get the house on the market.
Ah,
So that's
Yeah.
gonna be interesting, right? Will the real estate agent have to disclose?
yeah, they have to because it's a written letter.
Mm,
Yeah. So maybe they don't want to do anything until they sell it, huh? Then we'll be dealing with it. Yet another person. Hmm.
Hmm.
Because I was thinking maybe I'd give her a call. Yeah, that kind of makes sense, I guess. And if nobody's gonna live there. Who do we know? Do we know a bit? Well, does the park service have their phone number? I think maybe flood control has.
I think flood control,
Maybe Mark has their number. Huh?
Mark, yeah, I know Mark talked to her on the phone, and Cusp might have it
Oh yeah. Yeah.
because they were trying to reach her. I don't think the national park has it, as
I'll
far
get-
as I know.
Yeah, I'll check with Jennifer and Mark and get the phone number. Maybe I'll just-
Jessica?
I'm sorry, Jessica.
Yeah.
I'll give her a call. Just kind of see where where she's at with this. Okay, and then on the John Muir gravesite, they were going to invite Cusp out to do a review in the field, which I think they did, right?
I'm not sure they've actually done it yet. Last I heard, their original date didn't work out, and so they were going to try and plan another one, but that was also a few months ago. But
Yeah.
I know Cusp also moves pretty slowly, so
Yeah, we're dealing with Cusp and the regional board. Yikes. Real slow. Okay. So that's really no change in the status on either one of those. So the anything else on those on that particular topic? Okay. So the next item is the Lower Alhambra Creek Watershed Management Plan, and we have the guide. Now, is this the guide? Is that's what Doug you put together, right?
I think that's up. I think Victoria's got the spreadsheets we had together, yeah, and comments.
Yeah. Well, you put together. You put together this chart of the 6-year cycle?
Yeah, I did that too.
Yeah. I think that chart is really handy because it's all very visual and on a time. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, timeline. But the chart is for it's plant management, right? More
It's
or less.
all out of the management section.
Yeah. And the spreadsheet is everything.
Yeah, the
It-
spreadsheet's everything.
It goes beyond the plants.
Right, right.
But for the plants, this is a really nice chart. What kind of programs do you use for that?
The chart or
The chart.
timeline. The chart was done just Excel.
That's Excel?
Well, the timeline was done in a graphics program.
Yeah, I mean the time. I guess the timeline here.
Yeah, it was done in a graphics program.
Okay, very nice. I
Well, I
like
got
it.
to thinking it's a little dense. I think we could make it simpler by just having a single 1 to 6 year line for each of the things that you do. But it wasn't until I made this, I realized, I wonder if the city knows how much they've signed up for.
Right, I know. Yeah.
Because it's spread out through different paragraphs, and it's a
Mhm.
lot of work.
Yeah. And we're talking manual weed removal.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
guys
that is what you need to do to maintain a creek bank, right? Is a lot of work.
a
That's
lot of
right.
work.
Yeah.
Also, it only kind of covers 6 years. It doesn't say too much about what goes on afterwards, except for the weeding. So I just saw it as a 6-year cycle. I assume the assumption is after 6 years, they probably got to do another desilting and start over again, but who knows?
Yeah, probably.
If we get 6 years of the city doing this, we'll be pretty happy.
Yeah. That's right.
It'll probably take 6 years just to get them in line with doing this.
Yeah.
Then we'll do another, well, maybe we won't do another 6 years, but see, I'm talking like Mitch now.
Sorry about that. Starting to rub off, huh?
Yep.
But this would be excellent, when we do the next training, having something like this.
Yeah, I
as
think
a-
I'll try to make the simpler version to just compare it. It might be easier to read, but yeah, some of the things you don't think about, like they want these photo documentation. They want photos sent to
Mhm.
the regional board about, how these things are doing.
Yeah. No, I think this is for when we do the next training, just handing this out to all the maintenance crews.
Yeah.
Would be perfect. Yeah, it's perfect tool for training because it's just a one pager and it's visual. Yeah, it's great. Excellent work. Thank you, Doug. This is
Mhm.
good stuff. So then and then the spreadsheet is you didn't really make any changes to the spreadsheet, did you?
Well, Victoria added the stuff in blue. Scroll down, yeah. she
Oh,
did
okay.
that, which is useful, resources.
So yeah, we did resources, which other people, I think Elaine probably added some things here. And then this was an idea, I think, that came from the last meeting, is to talk about our roles, the city's role, AWC's role,
Mhm.
Friends of role, but maybe after some time working on it, so we actually know. And then at the last meeting, I was asked to come up with definitions. So I tried to come up with a few definitions, but I don't know if this is what we wanted.
Okay.
I think the primary question definitions, Mitch, was that restoration issue, right?
Yes. That was because right, what I've heard Riley say is that there's a restoration, quote unquote, restoration plan description in the watershed management plan. She thinks anyway, and she wants us to us being the watershed council to like expand it and make it bigger and better and more definitive, and I don't, so I asked her, what exactly do you mean by restoration plan? And we haven't got a response back yet. In fact, Riley suggested that we wait until the regional water board sends a letter to the city. So the regional board is going to send a letter to the city regarding the plan, thanking them for adopting it, I guess, accepting the plan as satisfaction for their, the mitigation that they're supposed to do. And then they were going, in this letter, they're going to explain what they want the city to do, or I guess to describe the parameters of this restoration plan. So the next step then is to wait for this letter to come out of the regional board to the city, which will describe this in more detail, this being the restoration plan. But Victoria and I had a meeting with Jessica, and we were asking several questions about, what does Riley mean about this? What does she mean about restoration plan? And Jessica really couldn't answer, and she said that she would talk to Riley. Well, we never really have connected since then. That was probably a month ago or more, maybe a month and a half. And then the last time Victoria reached out to Riley, the outcome now is, or the answer now is, let's wait until we get the letter from the regional board to the city, and that will have some official direction. Katie Hard is her father passed away, and she's been having to deal with some family issues, and she was backed up with projects before that happened, and now she's backed up even more. I'm sure this isn't maybe the top priority with all the other projects that really need some direction from her to actually build something. So I suspect that we'll be waiting for, quite some time before we get that letter.
Mm.
So, so Victoria, I apologize. I didn't see this come through. I missed that. So I haven't seen this in advance, but is there anything in here that's not associated with the issues that we had in meeting or talking with Riley and Jessica?
I think I tried to keep it pretty like simple. But I don't know. Like the restoration plan was the most, complicated one. The
Mhm.
sediment removal plan and the vegetation management plan were basically just sediment removal plan is a plan to remove the sediment, and then vegetation management plan is, provides guidance on planting and management of the plants. So it's just this restoration one. Maybe if we want to read it and see if this aligns with what your definition of restoration plan is.
Okay. Can you bump up that a little bit?
Yeah, I can do that.
Otherwise I have to go get my glasses. There we go. Yeah, that looks, I mean, that's a really good start, Victoria. Thank you very much for doing that. The other thing that's we always wrestle with on these things is restoring, something to, or a stream, I should say, restoring a stream to its original historical,
Yeah.
line and grade. This creek's been in size, so the grade's different, the line's different. It used to meander across the whole floodplain. It's not going to do that anymore. So it's one of those. It's going to end up being an engineered channel, even though it looks great. And I think the best thing we can do, unless we wipe out a bunch of housing, is to improve the function and the natural conditions. We can still improve natural conditions, but we'll never get back to its historical. Of course, I guess it depends on how you define historical then too. But if it was historical is like the early 1900s, maybe. But if historical means going back prior to colonization, then that's not going to happen. I would say, okay, let me know when you're done.
Okay, I'm done.
So the second paragraph, a restoration project is a process of improving a stream, creek, floodplain, or area of land, I would say, to more natural conditions through which hydrological functions, ecological health, and biodiversity increase. So we could say form too, hydrological form and function. If we say that, then the form means that we may be realigning the creek, which I doubt we're going to do. I think the creek is gonna stay where it's gonna stay. But form could also mean the changes in cross section. So I guess that's all right. Ecological health, biodiversity. Yeah, okay, that's good. Reworking, should we say gravels or gravel beds? Maybe reworking gravel beds. Okay, yeah, that's a good, I like that. It's a good, anybody else have any thoughts?
Seems pretty thorough.
Yeah,
A good job.
very good. Yeah. Very good job. Thank you very much, Victoria. That's great. That's probably, and I doubt we'll make any more changes to that because I don't think Riley's going to come up with anything that would really change that.
Yeah, but it might be helpful if at some point we share it with her and then,
Mhm.
yeah,
Well, could you go ahead and share it with her after this meeting?
yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, send it to Cusp and they can chew on it for a while.
So Mitch, is the plan signed and the I's dotted and the T's crossed? I mean, any more reviews or letters or back and forths?
Nope, it's done.
Okay.
Yeah, the plan is done. And
On a 6-year cycle?
yeah, we'll have to, in 3 weeks, we'll have to start the process to amend it because it'll take 6 years to do that,
Yeah,
just like the general plan.
Yeah.
Well, it is a living document though, so
Mm.
it can be amended easily, right?
It can
I
be
mean, it's a
amended.
living,
It can be
it's a
amended.
living document.
I don't know if you can say easily in the same breath there, but it can be amended. Yeah.
Well, what exactly then, when you say living document, to me, that means it's very flexible. Is that wrong?
No, that's, I'm being a little facetious.
Oh.
Because we're working with the city on a general plan and I don't even know if they've approved the general plan yet, have they?
Got it. Yeah. Okay. I understand.
And then even this plan, when did we start working on this plan? It was back, what, 5 years ago?
2001, I think.
No. Yeah.
What?
It's 5 years ago, maybe.
Something like that.
It was
Something like that.
the city failed to, let's see, what was it? They failed to file their NPDS annual report. I think it was like 5 years ago. I think that was, oh no, excuse me. They were doing work in the creek without a permit. Maybe not 5 years ago, 4 years ago.
Sounding
It's been a
better.
while.
Huh? 5?
I think
Feels
4.
like it.
4,
But
yeah. Yeah, about so 4 years. That's not too bad, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, does every creek restoration go through this, or like, is every city doing this? It seems hard to believe that that the water board could keep up with this much work on any one project.
Well, that's why they wanted us to be in charge of everything. I think because the regional board's not gonna, they're not gonna provide any oversight here. They want us to provide oversight. But and we'll be involved in it, in these projects, and to the extent that we can, we have the resources and the expertise. But if Elaine is not involved anymore, then we don't have the same expertise in native plants.
Well, I think we do though, so I'm not worried about that. 'Cause
Yeah,
we've shared a
well.
lot of information, so I feel comfortable. If I'm not around, I feel comfortable. It'll be just fine.
Well,
Keeps coming up.
it all sure, and that's great, and I'm sure that's the case until someone asks a question.
Yeah.
Like one of the maintenance guys said,
And
well,
thank goodness we have Uda Berger and her husband. I mean,
yeah,
they're not, haven't been in the picture for a while because she's dealing with family issues also, and she's up in Washington. But when she gets back to her normal routine, she will be more involved, and that'll be a real blessing. And she's pretty young, so I think we're well covered there.
okay,
And
that's good.
then we always have the Resource Conservation District with the quality of people that are hired there are extremely unbelievable, where they find all these wonderful people. And so I mean, we have them, and that's a huge non-worry right there. We've got a lot of resources to help us. I feel comfortable with it.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, the RCD is a huge backstop with all
Yeah.
the expertise they have. Yeah.
And they employ younger people.
Yeah,
They do.
that's the yeah, that's great. In fact, it's really good. So, all right, so I guess this is as far as we can go tonight with this.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how long we get how long it'll take to get the letter out. So is there anything that the city needs or is going to plan to do? They have a DSILT project coming up, right?
I would think they would have to. Isn't it time for them to do that?
Yeah, I was trying to think what Randy said, if he was doing it this end of summer, or is
I
it
think
next?
they were planning to start permitting kind of when we had that meeting with them.
Right. So
that
it's
would mean
next year.
actually start next year.
Next year, yeah. So it's
Oh, next year.
20 to be like this time,
Okay.
2024, they'll be in there digging in the creek. That's right. They'll do the permitting first. Okay.
Now, that was one thing Brianne brought up about the cleanup, right? Elaine was
Yes.
like that section is not specifically listed in this plan, so hopefully we wouldn't be held to this plan for that section, and she didn't think so, but I think they were trying to reference this plan when they were telling her, when they were hemming and hawing about approving the date.
Oh,
You
I
talk-
didn't know that.
You talking about upstream of Ward Street?
Yeah,
section?
and we want to, talking about amending this, we want to incorporate that area into this plan. I mean, we want to do that.
Yeah.
Brianne had requested that, and she was
Yeah, and she was disappointed.
disappointed
Yeah.
it didn't get in.
Yeah.
So we need to go one block upstream.
Well,
At
she
least.
can add that in just by like council resolution or something. Yeah.
There you go. Okay, good. Council
she wants-
resolution.
If
And
she
it's
wants,
just a living document. It's easy.
yeah. Well, if she wants to do it, they just pass a resolution, just adding that to it.
Cool.
It'd be easy to do.
All right.
She's the mayor. She just asked staff to prepare a resolution.
So cool. Okay. All right. We'll do that. Well,
Yeah.
Jamie, you gonna tell her that?
I mean, does it need to be added in, or I mean, that's just 'cause
Well,
she,
it should be. It really should be.
and
I think it should be.
but not before our cleanup. That's not necessary.
Well, I don't think so. I don't think it'll, I mean,
Okay, so it's just the future.
but it should be part of it, because that would make us, what we're doing there would make it even more important. I mean, not more important, but it would make it more accountable, I think, if it was part of the plan. It
Yeah.
should be in the plan.
And I think
And actually sooner than later, not more that I think about it, it should be in the plan now.
and I think the cities, at least they've been talking about doing some work in that area to address some of the
They have,
homeless.
they have, actually, it looks pretty good, except that,
Yeah.
well, I shouldn't say, I don't walk down there that often, but when I do walk down there, I usually do see a couple of folks hanging out, even though, it looks neat and all that kind of stuff, but it's still a hangout area, and maybe it always will be. I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah, so they were planning on doing some work down there to try and discourage, I guess, that kind of activity.
How do you do that?
Plant blackberries, native invasive blackberries.
Well, I thought one thing was to prune up all the trees, right? So you can see straight through it.
Yeah.
Mitch, we want to go with native plants, so we're going to put in some poison oak.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's
Doug,
it.
I was just thinking of that.
Yeah, that's good.
That
Except that
goes
it-
opposite of Brianne's always talking about, though, and she's wanting to open it up like for kids. So yeah, those
Yeah,
are
right,
opposing wishes.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
but normally the police chief will tell you that opening it up so it's highly visible helps them to police the area,
Okay.
and it discourages people from hanging out there if it's highly visible. Okay. So Let's see, what else do we have on the agenda?
Yeah.
Or Doug, did you want to add anything on the?
No, oh, I'm
Yeah,
fine.
okay. Yeah.
So, oh, the last thing is the
Oh,
files project.
Yeah, digitization. Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you, Victoria, first of all, for looking into this. And I know that you've been contacted. I think we've all been contacted in one way, shape, or form about past reports on fish in Alhambra Creek, and you were looking for the actual reports, and everybody remembers these reports,
Mhm.
but can't find the report. So have we found the reports?
I was still not able to find that one fish survey from like 2008 and 9.
Huh.
I was sent another kind of fish survey, but it wasn't just Alhambra. It was like throughout all of the Bay Area, but there was a page on Alhambra. But yeah, I still
Who did that one? That was
that was
the guy that died. What was his name?
Robert A. Lady.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, there's a few names.
I think it's somebody else. Yeah.
Um,
Okay, so we still need to find that report.
oh, there's 3 names. It's oh, where's my sharing screen? Okay. This is the report I was sent.
Gordon Becker, that's the guy I was thinking of. Yeah, Gordon. I think he passed away.
John Muir Institute. There's one of those at Davis too.
What was that?
I was just looking at one of the schools. It says John Muir Institute of the Environment, University of California, Davis.
John Muir, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Connection with the John Muir stuff.
Yeah, Seymour. EPA, okay. Yeah, that's when they were talking about these, some of these guys were talking about Pinole Creek being a good creek. And I think this was maybe this was a steelhead study, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was for developing those restoration plans for steelhead and salmon.
Oh, for their
So
latest
their
improvement?
recovery plans. This is back in 10
What?
years ago or something. What was the date of this?
It was old.
2005?
2005.
Okay, almost 20 years ago. Yeah. So they were required. Let's see, NOAA, fisheries, and I guess Fish and Wildlife Service were requiring these steelhead recovery and salmon recovery plans, and they were looking at various watersheds to see which ones would be candidates for funding for habitat restoration. And Pinole Creek was, they looked at that was as one that may have some merit because it's all open space, you might say, just past the town. There's a lot of good habitat up there if you can get the fish up there, and there's only one barrier, which was the crossing at Highway 80, which they fixed, or they put a fish ladder across there or in the culvert. And I think that's why they got the funding to do that. But Alhambra Creek was not. There it is right there. Concluded that there was no salmon run in Alhambra Creek back in 1946. You see that? At the very top of the screen there. Alhambra Creek, yeah.
Creek.
That was in 1946. Anyway,
Wow.
there have been, it seems like there have been some in high flow seasons, there's been some that have strayed up Alhambra Creek. You know, if 95% of the salmon go up as I understand it, not that I'm an expert, but they 95% go up the creek that they're supposed to go up from their their genetic structure, but then there's always about 5 or 10% that stray
Mm.
and go up other creeks. And the reason for that is that it expands the, you know, what am I trying to think of here? The
Diversity?
number of creeks that particular strain, because a lot of these are genetically pure to that particular creek. But then the strays then go and populate other creeks if the other creeks are good habitat. So then if the original creek that they all went to for some reason fails, they'll still survive because they have some offshoots in some other creeks. So that's a kind of a survival adaptation for the salmon with having those strays. So there are some strays I think that have gone up Alhambra Creek, not as a you know, as a run, you might say, but just as some strays. And they've never established themselves, as far as I know, as a viable, you know, population.
Hmm.
So, but there was a study we did, and we're still looking for it.
Yeah, so I found it. This is, by the way, this is what Lisa started, was this spreadsheet that has different documents. And then if there's a digital copy, they're linked, but she never got around to it, actually scanning some of the ones that didn't already have digital copies, as far as I know. And then I added some as I got my hands on some, but I know the RCD's files are kind of scattered. But how I found the fish survey was there was a report to the city that you all did
Oh,
in 2011, and I found this document online, and there's a
Well,
list.
that was
of
our annual report, or our report to the council. Yeah.
Yeah. And so there's like a list of things, accomplishments that the Watershed Council had done between, I'm assuming, the last report to the council.
Yeah.
And one of them was this assessment of fish resources. Oh, I could zoom in maybe. Assessment of fish resources in Alhambra Creek, 2008 to 2009. And it says the partners were a fishery biologist, the Urban Creeks Council, and the RCD. So as far as I know, the RCD doesn't have it. The Urban Creeks Council, I reached out to Riley because Chris told me that she was previously a part of the Urban Creeks Council, and Riley didn't have it either.
I remember Alice Rich. I remember her presentation to us.
Yeah, she came and spoke for us, right?
She what?
She made a presentation. She made a
Ye-
presentation to us, right?
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Yeah.
At the county offices there when we were
Yeah.
in conference room A, that's where we used to meet.
Mm.
And I remember her presentation. Yeah. So that was 2009, huh? 2009.
But it sounds like Igor has a bunch of documents in his garage in boxes.
Right.
But I'd be interested to get my hands on those. Or I guess the new Alhambra watershed person, maybe that's a good project for a new person coming in, is to start scanning some of these things.
Victoria, just maybe a suggestion. If you were to send the spreadsheet out, at the end of the title of the file, to have put in parentheses draft and then today's date or something like that, so we don't get it screwed up in later things. Send it out to all of us and just say, hey, can anybody find any of these documents that we don't have? And that might encourage some of us to look a little harder.
Yeah, well, this spreadsheet is the ones that the RCD does have.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could send out maybe just an email calling for any documents related,
We
or is
could do
that too vague?
Yeah,
So, yeah, that's a good question, Doug. Thank you. Victoria, the other question I had was, so you went through their annual or not annual report, our report to the city council from 2011? Yeah, 2011.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you went through that list to make sure that all the accomplishments or lists is in that spreadsheet, or just,
No. Most
no?
of these things aren't documents.
Okay, but you
They're like,
took the documents that are listed here and put them on the spreadsheet?
I think the only document listed is the
fish study.
fish study. But I've just, as I've come across documents,
Mhm.
added them to the list. So like I found all of, I think Doug's like hiking
Trails.
trail guides. And so those are all in here. And then any of the new kind of, documents like the Arundo document that you all created, that's in here.
Mhm.
Do
Well,
you have
Go ahead,
do you-
Jamie.
do you have the ABCC study? Like FMSM, I think was the company name.
Right.
The I do think I have that one.
Because I think Tori managed to scan that for us.
Yeah, Tori sent that to me. And if it's not in here already, I will add it.
And it would be nice to get the cover on there just because that is a nice visual to say. "Oh, this
Yeah.
Mhm.
so this is where you've put in your information rather than start a new one. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, I've added anything I found to what Lisa already had. But I know Lisa didn't have enough time to do exactly what she wanted to do here.
Jamie, did ABCC create any other documents, or like a little 2-pager on the history of it, or what, what?
Well, we had some flyers where it went into quite a bit of information, so I can try and see what I can find.
Yeah, because,
I mean, I have a
If we-
box of stuff, but yeah, it's just going through it.
yeah, because if we're trying to 5-10 years from now, we're trying to figure out what the ABCC
Yeah.
or build on it, we'd have to.
Like if we want to do this neighborhood outreach out here because of the Martin property issue,
Right.
it'd be nice to be current on, or just to remember what we had done.
Just to build off what we've done, yeah. And having a little 2-pager that describes the project, the history, how it was formed, and all that sort of thing, it might be helpful. Okay, so the other question I had, Victoria, was you found that report to the city council 07 to 2011. Did you look at the other reports to council that we did that had also a list of accomplishments?
No, I actually found this just on the internet.
On the city.
Yeah, it must have been on
Okay.
the cities. I
Oh,
think
the
I searched
city.
like Alhambra Creek fish or something. And it came up.
That wasn't the last one we did. We did one since then, haven't we?
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah, I believe we've done
Yeah.
one since then.
Yeah. I'll have to see. 2011. That's 12 years. I'm sure we've done one since then, yeah. And then we did one before that, before 2007, I think. Anyway, it might be worthwhile to see if we can dig those up too. And they should be on. I mean, is this one here on the list?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the other ones, any of them that we do should be on the list. And then it might also give you clues of some other documents. But I was cleaning out my office as part of my retirement effort, cleaning out my office at the county. Of course, I found a couple of boxes of stuff from the Watershed Council, so I'll go through those and see if I have any documents.
Mitch, did you end up with all the unfolded maps? Remember, we had a huge number of maps that weren't folded. And I think at one time they went to your office, but I don't think, they may not be there anymore.
I'll check. I have to go in and deal with my voicemail situation, so I'll check on it.
I thought through the years we've managed to get rid of a lot of them.
Have
And
we?
I think Mitch would always go to his stash in his office and he's like, oh, we got some left here. but
Might be right.
I
yeah.
have some folded ones I know left.
Oh. But we
Those are
should,
collector's items.
Yeah,
I was
I
gonna
don't-
say, we should still give them away at, if we're doing tabling events, if people are interested. We don't,
Yeah.
we seem to have gotten away from showing the map.
that may be something we could add to the table at the symposium. It seems
Mhm.
like I gave all those extras to the RCD.
Mm,
Yeah, the flat ones or the rolled
The
up
flat
ones,
ones.
because they're just too hard to, to deal with, to store.
Like big posters.
But I'll yeah, they're unfolded, yeah, so they're like 2 foot by 3 foot,
Yeah,
Okay.
3 or 3x4 even.
or maybe 3 by 4. Yeah, they're
There's a
Yep.
huge stack of posters in our office, so I'm sure
Nice.
something's there.
that's where it is. Yeah.
Well, these are just maps though, right? So it's be like heavy paper, not posters. Not like poster board.
No, it's just paper. It's a paper map, but they weren't folded. Some of them weren't folded. Quite a few actually. Yeah, we had a pretty good side roll of them. And does the RCD have storage for like folded maps and that sort of thing?
So the RCD, our current storage is so we have two offices. One that we share with NRCS, where we have like a room in the office, and that is essentially our storage unit. And then our second office is in Concord, and that's where we actually work out of. And
Now,
so there's just a bunch of boxes and things in that Clayton office with NRCS, but they haven't really been organized.
yeah, so you're no longer working out of the old Farm Bureau office, is that correct?
Correct. That would be what we use as our storage unit.
Okay, so you still either own that or pay rent or whatever it is, huh?
Yeah.
It's the Farm Bureau owns it, I guess, right?
Yeah. It's mostly NRCS's office. And I think since we had such a small staff previously, people were able to work out of there. But then when our staff grew, it didn't work. So then they started using it for storage.
Okay.
And so I'm guessing NRCS still is the one. I don't know if they're paying rent or what I don't know what the deal is there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, so I'll dig up. I'll get when I go to the office there, I'll see if there's any left, any of those things I left behind. But I think I gave the rolled up ones to the RCD years ago. The last time this came up, 15 years ago or when it was. Okay, well, this is good. This is very good. So, yeah, we should build on this momentum. So I guess all of us are now tasked with going through our boxes and see if we have, reports and stuff. I'll go through my box here.
I guess, can we have a link to the spreadsheet then so that we can see if it's already been, if anything we find is actually already on the list? Digitized?
Yeah. How about I send this out in an email just as a call for
Mhm.
additional documents? And then I can send a link to the spreadsheet.
Now, the next question is where are we, what server are we storing all this data on?
Right. So right now, the ones that we have that are digital are in a folder on my Google Drive.
On
Okay.
your Google Drive?
Yeah, so the RCD recently, we just, it's like with my RCD email, but we like it has a drive associated with it.
Okay.
Recently, we just got a what's it called? Like a shared drive that
Shared
isn't
drive.
really owned by anyone. So
Mhm.
if I can transfer all this over there at some point, then
So you have a shared drive that,
Is
the
it
thing-
Google?
yeah, it's Google.
Okay. But
but
it's
what,
CD Google Drive.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, so a shared drive is in, anybody can pull up a document and do at the same time, do work on it. And
but it's, yeah, that's
Yes.
Google Drive. I mean, anyone can do. So even though this is in my drive, this is how I share most of the documents with you. Anyone with link can view it, or I could change it to anyone with link can edit it. So if you have the link and you click on it, you're able to make changes to it.
mhm,
It's just stored on my Google account with the RCD.
mhm. But everybody has access to all these documents, even though it's in your account.
Yeah, as long as the settings are set to anyone with link, because I could change it to only people in the RCD or no one at all.
Mhm.
Or if you let your Google lapse or get locked out or something, then probably nobody could access it anymore.
Yeah. So we're trying out shared drive in Google, which would still be housed on the RCD, but isn't necessarily associated with, one person's account. But we just got it, so we're just trying that out. So I don't,
Mhm.
but at some point, hopefully, if that works well, all of everyone at the RCD's files will be on that shared drive. So it's not associated, say, Lydia's leaving and going to grad school, all her documents would still be accessible by everyone else if it's on the shared drive versus Lydia's account drive.
Mhm.
So hopefully soon we will
Yeah.
be on that.
Okay.
Hopefully I'm not confusing you all.
No, it's just, thinking about the long-term security and
Yeah.
sustainability of all these documents. And,
It's
and
hard.
the ability to access them,
Yeah.
So we've gone to, Igor's garage, boxes in the garage to this system. And, the question is this going to be better than boxes in the garage?
Yeah, it's like right now it looks good all centralized, but yeah, as soon as we have a break in one person or even if the RCD changes their mind on that Google Drive, right? You still have to get migrated to whatever the next solution is.
Yeah, or a disgruntled employee sabotage the access. But going to a shared drive, I think is a good way to go. And that's where you're going, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Or Google Drive decides that you have to start paying for it.
I know, I'm bumping up
Right.
against my 15 megabyte limit. I refuse to pay. But it is a pain in the butt to keep it below the number.
Yeah, a lot of documents are big, big documents. Okay. All right. Well, any more questions on this? Thank you, Victoria. And so the new person will be carrying this on then.
Yes, I will tell them all about this. But yeah, I'll send out a call for documents and then do you think it's easier for people to, if I send out, well, I'll send out the spreadsheet, but do you think it's easier if I ask people to fill out the spreadsheet or to just, if they have a document not on the spreadsheet, send it to me and I'll add it to the spreadsheet?
Yeah, you do it because
Yeah.
somebody's liable to press the wrong button.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I'll make the spreadsheet view only. So you should be able to view it with the link and then just have people email their stuff to me.
Okay. Or if it's a big document, if I had a big document, I might just drive it over to you. So I don't have the equipment to do a high-speed scan, you know?
I know, seriously.
Yeah, I mean, mine goes chakunk, chakunk. I'd be waiting, anyway. So we'll see what I got. But that's
Okay.
another option, right? We could send it, we could just bring it over to you.
Yes, you can do that.
Yeah, okay. Because
And
not
then
all of us,
I'll make the new person scan it.
absolutely, absolutely, it's good training. Because not all of us old guys have modern equipment that we're used to in the office. Now that I'm retired, I don't have access to, you know, the other equipment I used to have access to.
Yeah.
You can actually scan on your phone if you have a smartphone, and it's the best thing ever.
That
Yeah.
still would take a long time with the, but it takes a long time even standing at a copier if it's
Yeah.
bound and all that, so.
Yeah.
Is it when it scans on your phone though, that's just a photograph of each page, isn't it?
Kind of. It so it doesn't take as much space as
That's a
like
photo.
a photograph. It creates like a PDF as it would if you were to scan it and send it to your computer. It's just easy because you just, hold your phone there, and it's similar to taking a picture, but it comes out like a scanned file.
Yeah, I guess I've just seen some scans lately. It's like, well, if there's a bend in the paper, you get all the shadows and
Mhm.
it looks
Yeah.
3D like it isn't.
So it's like that mobile banking, same kind of thing. You just put your phone up to a
Yeah.
certain point and click. Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
All right. Okay, so thank you again, Victoria, for doing that. Good luck on your getting someone to fill. Do you have a lot of applicants?
I'm not sure. I'm not in charge of that. That's Chris and Heidi. So,
Okay.
but I know they have 3 interviews tomorrow, so that's at least 3. And then I think they have more next week. So,
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
I was impressed with the crowd they just brought in, right? All those eco stewards.
yeah, we got new eco stewards.
It's a new set of them. I meant the first set, but
Yeah, there's a new set that just came in, and they're great so far. So, yeah.
Okay, good. Excellent. Okay, so again, thank you, Victoria, for doing that. And I think, is there anything else on the agenda? I think that was
No,
probably,
that was it.
that's it. Okay. So our next meeting is going to be a joint meeting with Friendsville Hammer Creek, and we'll talk about the TEX project grants
Yep.
and whatever else we need to talk about.
Yeah, I think the symposium table information and the text project, that's
Okay.
all I have on my list right now.
Okay. And if you'll email me how to pay for that.
Yes, I will do that.
Oh, great. Okay, good. Thank you. Alrighty. Well, thank you everyone for, and here we had, I thought it was going to be getting out early. Well, I guess we are. It's 3 minutes early.
3 minutes.
So,
Well, that's all right.
yeah. Thank you
That's
everyone
good.
and have a great evening. We'll
Yep.
see you soon.
Good to see everybody.
Bye-bye.
Good
Yeah.
night.
Bye.